Hi guys, I'm Peggy and I am trying to grow a cut flower garden here on my allotment in Kanagawa Prefecture, Japan, which is just south of Tokyo and in zone 9B. Thanks for checking out my channel. Okay, we're back in my garden today and it is cold, and we are going to be planting my stock. Now, I planted this, which is some stock apricot stock. I planted this out in the autumn and it's doing really well. It did start to get a bit wiggly, so I have staked it just with some yakitori stakes actually, to try and keep them a bit straighter. But they're doing really well. I was happy with that. Sorry, there's a helicopter going over. But today I have some more stock to put out. I have some vintage brown stock, which is beautiful. I really like that one. I have some more apricot stock because I really like this. I have some traditional field grown column stock in Miracle Yellow, which is this one. And I have some apple blossom stock, which is this beautiful kind of peachy pink colour. Now, as you can see from my seed packet, it says February. These are supposed to be my February sowings, and this says start to plant out mid-February until the end of March, and we are still in January. But I recently watched a video by Nicole over on Flower Hill Farms. Love her videos, so much information. You guys should check her out if you haven't already. And she was saying that she's had some trouble growing her stock. Now, she is in zone 4, zone 4, so way different from where I am. But she was saying she had trouble growing her stock because with stock, they like to use the cold weather to put on really long stems, and then as soon as it gets hot, they put out their flowers, which means if the stem has only grown this much, you'll get tiny little stems, but with still the nice fragrant flowers, but you're not going to be able to use them for anything. So she was planting them now. She's in zone 4 and she is planting hers now to try and make sure that she can get the really big long stems on them. So I'm really worried that I am now really late for putting my seeds in the ground because everything I've looked at says you should put these in the ground at least 8 weeks before your last frost. Now, our last frost here in Kanagawa Prefecture is the last week of February. If you're in Japan, your last frost is Shuso or Owari Jimo. So our Shuso is the last week, very end of February, but that only leaves me 4 weeks. And the heat ramps up here from kind of the end of April into May, over Golden Week. It gets really hot really quickly. So I'm now scared that my stock aren't going to have enough time to put on the nice long stems, and I'm going to end up with little dwarf things. Still beautiful flowers, but little dwarfs that I'm really not going to be able to use for many bouquets and decorations. Now, I'm only doing this for myself, it's only for my own house, so if it doesn't work, then lesson learned, I'll know next year. But I really want to try and get the best flowers I can out of my garden this year. So I am going to go ahead and get these planted and just have them inside until they germinate, and hope that I haven't left it too late. If I have, at least I've got some nice apricot ones here that have been growing. So yeah, let's get planting. Okay, now my allotment is tiny, so I don't need a lot of flowers in there to fill it up. So on my plan, I want 8 of each type of my stock, and I have the 4 different stocks. So I am going to start them off in these 25 cell trays. If you've never used stock seed before, I'll show you in a second. It's tiny, so tiny, and you don't cover it. It's one that just sits on top. Now I have seen that some people then sprinkle vermiculite on the top to just help with like green stuff issues when on the top, because you have to keep the soil moist, but I don't have any, so I'm not going to do that. But I am going to take, this is just a really nice loose potting soil, but it's very dry, and I don't want to water after I put my seeds in because the seeds might float up and move around and get lost. So I'm going to start with a nice damp compost. So I've got it all in a bucket here, and I'm just going to add some water. Try and stop my trees from blowing away because it's windy. Now, you don't want it to be sopping wet, but you don't want it dry either. Hi! You've got mud all over your face. Oh, do you make tea? Tea. Good job making the tea. Okay, so that's about what I'm looking for. You grab a handful of it and squeeze it together. It kind of stays together in a clump, but there's not water dripping out of it. So that's what I'm going to go with. I have 4 different types and I'm going to do 2 rows of each. I'm going to put 2 seeds in each row, so hopefully enough of that. Oh, what did you make? Flower tea? Good job. Go. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, I've got 4 of each and 4 types. I need 8 of each one in the garden, so I'm going to plant up 10 of each and put 2 rows in each. 2 seeds in each cell, which should give me plenty, as long as 1 in each cell germinates and then an extra couple. My goodness, that hurt my brain to do. It's very early. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fill all of these up first. I can't. These seeds are teeny, teeny, tiny. Five seeds left. That's it. Next up, apple blossom. These pretty ones. I'm not actually covering these, I'm just pushing them in a little to make sure that they don't blow away. Okay, so now they're all in. I actually didn't plant up my more apricot, because I have plenty here and also I've run out of potting soil. So I might put them in a little bit later, but I'm honestly not sure because I have this many, and like I say, I think the heat is going to change before these are at their full height. So I don't think I'm actually going to have time to put in a second row of them, so I might just leave them like that. Also, in the row that I'm meant to be growing my stock is where I currently have some poppy still in the allotment. So if I don't do my second load of apricot, it means I can leave those poppy in and see if they're going to do anything. Hello, where are you trying to go? You're just checking out our ranunculus? Which are looking pretty good, by the way. So I am going to take my spray bottle and just spray these seeds down. Again, not the soil should be moist enough, it's more just to keep them in place so that the seeds don't move about. And then I am going to take them inside and put them on my living room windowsill because it's the only kind of sunny spot I have. Hello. And I will leave them there until they germinate, and then once they germinate I'll move them out into my little seed pod here because it is really cold. You can tell from our little Rudolph noses. It is still really cold here. So I'm gonna spray these down and then move them inside. Also, here in Kanagawa we have really, really dry winters. We have incredibly humid summers and very, very dry winters. And because these are going to be inside my living room where we have the aircon on, which makes things even more dry, I am going to wrap these up just in a plastic bag, tie them up just to try and keep some of the humidity in there, again, just until they germinate, is my plan. Okay, that's them all wrapped up. I am going to put them on my windowsill in my living room. Like I say, that is somewhere warm. You don't exclude light on these. They want to have light, so you can't put them in a basement or something like that. So I am going to put them on the windowsill, which is indirect light. That window gets a tiny bit of direct sunlight, but not enough to hurt these. So that puts these in indirect light, which is what you want. And hopefully, I haven't left it too late and I will get nice long stems on my stalk. Hopefully. But thanks for watching. If you want to see what these end up like, then remember to hit the subscribe button and I will see you guys next week. Bye!